If you do anything, like learn to do some cleans, literally do some like snatches, something like that, that are more like functional. Doing this isn't functional at all. Don't do this. It's not good. What is up? It's your boy Johnny Street Vibe, BB Pro, Mr. Tell Like It Is. Welcome back to another episode of Coaching Up. Today we're coaching up Fit Media Channel's shoulder workout, Arnold style. So basically I went through a whole Arnold style workout. The only cons I have with this is the instructions we have, they're given. Instructions aren't too bad, but it's also the person that's actually doing the examples. A lot of people can be misled by watching this and thinking that that's how you perform the exercise. I'm gonna help you guys optimize this entire workout, Coach Johnny style. Anyway guys, we're here at John Reed Gym. This gym is absolutely fantastic. So we're here for a week in LA, getting some good content done. So hope you guys enjoy some different gym settings, everything else, and yeah, whatever. So keep watching. Anyway.
So here's a complete shoulder workout inspired by the legend Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Okay, so let's go. First workout we have.
And first, an exercise created by Arnold himself. The Arnold press. Arnold was looking for a single exercise to hit all three parts of the shoulder. By using a press and twisting at the same time, he achieved that goal.
Okay, so basically we have the Arnold press, and yes, he's right. This is a three-dimensional work, guys. Obviously, it's gonna hit all three heads of our shoulders, front, lateral, and rear. Again, we're doing this, I like to do it seated because we're gonna get a lot of the momentum out of our hips and it'll make it a lot more optimal that way. But for his namesake, we're gonna keep it standing. I'll show you guys how to do it that much better. Okay, so doing this again, we're setting up. Think about setting up just like anything else. If I was doing like an overhead press with a barbell, if I was the top of a squat, if I was about to, do a Romanian deadlift, I want to have that same posture, same athletic stance and whatnot, right? So we're here from the ground up. I still do want to activate my legs. Like we're not sitting here and keeping this loose when we're training. We want to make sure that we're grounding the ground on the floor, splurting out with our hips, externally rotating the hips so our knees are aligned with our toes so we have more strength and stability from the waist down, engaging the core. That way when we're in a good posture this way, we're gonna get a lot more activation and control for this lift. Again, with this one, just like I said, you don't need a lot of weight from this at all because again, it's three-dimensional. You're gonna hit a lot more of your shoulders. So when we're here, so when you're doing this, again, we wanna be inside, keep the weight above our shoulders. We don't wanna be too high right there already because right again, you're gonna start to like activate your traps and get posture like this. We wanna start with our shoulders depressed. So almost like if you're doing a goblet squat, you'd be in this position anyway. Again, chest up from here. Remember, we want to open up to the shoulder first and then press over and back down and in front. We don't want this kind of roll up thing like this. We don't want this. This is rushing. This isn't good. This is precise from here, opening up, breath in, push up and down, control, breathe in, breath in, push, down and over, breathe in. Here, press and over. Just doing this exact same if we're starting from here, basic goblet squat almost to the side to an overhead press. So I do want my shoulders to finish beside my ears, not in front, not like this. Now my arms flared out this way. I'm gonna be from here, open to a nice positive position, and pressing up and down, over. Two distinct movements. Don't just roll into it. Hey guys, what's up? A lot of you guys are watching the video but not subscribed, so do yourself a favor, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification button so next time I put a video, we'll be the first ones to get it. And hopefully by now guys you like the video, so hit the like button. Anyway, back to the show. Peace.
Starting with the back of the shoulder, bringing the pinky fingers out at the top of the movement for maximum squeeze on the muscle.
Now just a couple things, we're looking at this. You guys are gonna see exactly what I'm gonna say. A few things he's doing right now that are optimal, but again, we wanna make this that much better.
4 sets, 10 to 12 reps.
So I just talked about this the other day with a couple of my athletes. A lot of times we're seeing programs online, you see like 4 sets of 10 to 12 reps, like just pick a random number. What makes the biggest difference of what those 8 to 10 reps look like is the time under tension. So if you go and say 4 sets of 8 to 10 reps, no time under tension, that can be like literally a 10-second set. We can actually do like myofibular hypertrophy in that. So if we want to like designate or distinguish what kind of training we're doing, we have to have the time under tension that's there. So for this guys, we're gonna make sure you guys do it more optimal. Let's just say like a 3-second negative to make it super hard. Now we're doing like bent over flies. I'm not a fan of like trying to, hold the weight here and coming down at all. It's not that optimal. My biggest emphasis is making sure we get the full peak contraction and controlling change of direction. So if we're doing like lateral raises, we're here, doing bent over raises, we're here. Now we're gonna show you guys how to set up a lot more optimally to make sure that our back isn't part of this equation. We're setting up a bent over lateral raise. We're gonna do the same thing we're gonna do if we're doing like a Romanian deadlift, right? Or a bent over row. You wanna make sure we have leverage and stability in our hamstrings, glutes, core, and then our erectors are gonna help us in that position. So we are going to hinge our back down as if we are doing a stiff leg deadlift. There's where we wanna be, there's where I'm secure, there's where I'm tight. And from here, having the weights in front, I wanna pull my weights up. I don't wanna use my pinkies as the designated point of like, I don't wanna use my pinkies as like your cue to pull the weight. I want you guys to think of more so of your elbows. My elbows are pulling the weight out and up, but I wanna keep I still wanna pull from my hands. I wanna make sure we're pulling with my elbows. If I pull from my hands, we get this kind of thing where we're just kind of doing this. And we're getting all that stuff there, and we don't want that. We want is our elbows to push to the side of the room, and then using a little bit of scapular retraction to finish the lift. We don't wanna right away start from here, and then we're already squeezing our traps in just to get the weight up and it looks like a row. What we wanna do is start from the top, hinging our butt down, getting ourselves a little upright. We don't want our back in any position. You do not want your shoulders below your butt. That's when you get back problems. So if you're doing squats, deadlifts, whatever it is, you don't want your back, your shoulders higher than your butt, right? So you don't want to be like this. You want to be here in position. Weights are from here. I got them firmly. I'm going to pull with my elbows out to the side and then squeeze at the top. So once I get more lateral, then I'm gonna use my rhomboids, my traps to pull my scaps together. And make sure we're engaging our core. So when we're doing this, you don't feel any pressure in your lower back. And you should feel a little counterbalance weight on your feet. So when you're pulling, you can really sit into your glutes, tight core, and pull out. We wanna avoid doing this. This is not good. Now, a couple things. There's things you have to really be very attentive to, especially you guys out there who are looking for information. You have this really good workout because it is a good workout and it does make sense. The lineup, the exercise selection, it makes sense. But you have this ultra good looking dude who is physically dominant doing movements where you're like, he's doing it right. And he's not necessarily doing it optimal. He's doing the exercises that look like you're supposed to be doing it right because he looks really good. But when you start doing it, what happens? Your back starts to hurt, your shoulders start to hurt, and all those things because the guy looks good. Just because you look good doesn't mean you know something. Especially in this industry, it's what I know the most. Just because someone has a lot of subscribers or looks good doesn't mean they know everything. Remember, all it takes somebody to know 5% more than you and you think they know everything when they can only probably know 5% of what they're actually talking about. Right? All right, next movement.
So next, standing shoulder press. Dumbbells towards the ceiling, not coming together, keeping the muscles in tension the whole time.
Now we're looking at this weight here, shoulder press standing up. A couple things I'm not liking at all, which you guys who are watching already, who are already subscribed, can already see a lot of things he's doing wrong here. Okay, so obviously you guys can see what he's doing wrong there, obviously, and again, this is why I'm making the emphasis of doing this actual workout and showing you guys how to optimize it, because again, we have a really good looking guy who is set up nice, looks great, and his shoulder press looks like this. And he's kind of doing this, and there's a lot of snapping the joints. He's not above the weight. His shoulders aren't by his ears, so we're not getting this. We're doing a lot of this kind of stuff. To make it that much easier for everybody else, to be honest, too, is just doing barbell overhead press. It's gonna keep it a lot more linear. There's less things to worry about, right? This is a little more advanced, and when you get there, that's fine. But if you're not there yet, then for me, I think really most optimal way to do shoulder press is a standing overhead press. Again, when we're doing this movement, this is the only thing in this workout that doesn't really make sense to me, as we already did some kind of shoulder press movement. We basically did Arnold press, which is the shoulder press, right? So I would have chose something else, but again, barbell's what I would have chose to kind of switch things up. So I'd rather do barbell, so if we do barbell, what I wanna do is get myself underneath, we're here. Now from here, I'm gonna press up and over my head, and then controlling it back down. So I'm gonna get a three-dimensional, I'm gonna get some multi-muscle movement here as well too, because I get the front, side, and lateral, just like the Arnold press, but I'm gonna be that much more linear and control with the barbell from here. And I'm pressing here, loading up and over, controlling it down. Again, pressing up and over, controlling it down. Press up and over, controlling it down. Now, things we wanna avoid is doing this and pressing like this, or trying to push your head too far through, which you don't want to do. Now, if I'm doing dumbbells, if I want to make this more optimal, doing dumbbell, I want to get my elbows in that little position where like a little bit of an angle. not like this to this side. A little bit angle here so we can push straight up and down. Push yourself into the floor. Like literally, pretend that you're like, I don't know, in a really short room and you're trying to push yourself through the ground. That's how we want to press from the side when we're doing this with dumbbells. Right, we don't want to do this, we don't want to do this, and we don't want to hyperextend, we're doing this. Because then again, that's how you hurt your shoulder. Right, we have a little bit of short reps. It's fine to bring it to failure. Again, four sets of 10 to 12 reps. Those reps don't look like 3-second negatives or 2-second negative. Those look like basically fast reps, right? All right, again, we're posing, we look good, great, awesome. Not gonna lie, guy looks good.
Standing lateral raise. This is hitting that middle delt muscle to add thickness and width to the shoulder. Slightly and forward, weights come up level with the ears.
I wanna go over a couple techniques that he's doing. Now where he's pushing right now, he's doing a lot more front, his elbows are bent a lot more, and you guys know how I feel about that. And it's getting hard for him, so again, pick weight that you can do. A couple things I wanna teach you guys right now. There's a thing called good cheating. You can cheat. The only way you can cheat with hip drive is to make sure that if we do use any type of like hip movement like this, we don't want to hyperextend. So if we're doing this, yes, we want to be here. You can do this. It's totally fine to help get the weight up so you can get the weight to the top part of the lift. This is fine. But if we're doing this to get bad form, then there's no point, right? The whole point of doing a little bit of like a cheating from the hip is to help you with the concentric to get it up, but it's not to make the rest of the rep like a cheat. So we have the guy doing his rounds. He's here, hips are back, and he's got this. And he's out here. And his traps are working hard. And he's doing a lot of swinging. We want to make this as hard as we can and then use our hips once we can't control the concentric as much. So from here, again, I want to pull my arms out so they're here and down, not here. I want the front of the dumbbell to be looking at you at the top of that lift. So when we're pulling, we're here, or up. Or out to the side a little bit, but not all the way to the side. Then when it gets hard, we do this. Up, 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 up. That's proper cheating. This is not good cheating. That's not good cheating. This is good cheating. When we're lifting the weight, we want to make sure those dumbbells stay looking at you. If we have our arms pulling in like this, the rest of us is going to pull in like this, and then we're going to end up pulling up like this, and then a lot of our traps are taking that load. But we want to avoid hyperextension, pulling mostly with our traps, and whatnot. Now next we have
with a barbell front raise. Completing that 3D look, arms slightly bent and locked. Don't twist the elbows out as you come up.
Now these are good to do. He says, you know, in this, the cues are to not let your elbows bend the outside, but I'm gonna say different. I want them to still be in control, but I want them a little internally rotated, tiny bit. So we can keep a straight arm so we avoid flexion or extension in the elbows. If you look at like a front raise, it will be like the opposite movement of a straight arm pull down, right? So think of them the exact same movement, just the opposite load. Right, so if I have a straight arm pull down, I'm here and I'm coming down here, my posture stay the same. If I'm doing an upright row, same thing, or front raise, sorry, it's the same thing. Some of the cues I give when we're getting to a point of the workout where some cues I like to give when we're doing straight arm pull downs is the second that my traps start to engage, the set's done. Because you're no longer pulling with your lats, and your lats are no longer setting your shoulders. So if we're doing this, same thing applies. We want to keep our shoulders depressed still, so we're up to the top. We're not lifting with our traps. Our traps are gonna help, but we don't wanna be doing this. Lifting the whole thing up like this. We wanna keep our chest up, shoulders back and down, and pulling and putting the emphasis on the front delt no matter what. So I'll give you an example just with the bar. It's the exact same thing. Whether you use a bar, an easy bar, dumbbells, it should be the same. Dumbbells are hard because we're getting two different counterparts of this, doing two dumbbells. So from here, if I was doing a straight arm pull down, I would finish off in this position. I'd be here. I wanna look the exact same way here and at the top and down, right? So from here, we're keeping our shoulders rolled back and down. Okay, we have slight internal rotation. From here, we're pulling up, emphasizing just the front delts, up and down, controlling it up and down, controlling it up and down. Now, if you get to a point where it's really hard, you can cheat again, but we're not trying to hyperextend. Think of this as being like a kettlebell swing. We'll be here, and we get here. Now you can see while I'm using the hips, I'm not doing this. There's a big difference between doing this or this. Hips are staying back. But again, we want to control this weight. So from here, pulling up and down, up and down. And from these guys, all I want is a good contraction, peak contraction, change of direction. So from here, distinct up and down. We don't have to get up here and try and 3, because this is gonna happen. Right, we don't want that, right? Just from here, up, down, up, and then down.
With a classic, old school exercise, shrugs. Shoulders up to the ears, then down.
Not my favorite movement at all, and especially doing it this way. This is like one of the most old school ways to do shrugs. I'm gonna show you the reason why we don't wanna do shrugs like this whatsoever. Every physiotherapist will say, do not do shrugs like this. To be honest, don't even do shrugs. I don't do shrugs at all. And I'm gonna tell you why. I used to train traps all the time when I was a kid. The first muscle mag I got was literally Johnny Jackson's like 12 ways how to do shrugs. And I would do 12 different shrug exercises. Walk out like this is the biggest headache, like, my shrugs, my traps are dope. This stuff's ridiculous. The reason why we don't need to do them, number one, it's not functional. Number two, it's gonna just make your head fucking hurt all the time. Impingements everywhere. But again, any lateral, any accessory movement we do, whether it's a front raise, a side raise, a rear raise, a face pull, we're doing rows, if we're rowing up and down, our traps are being involved in so many movements. So if we put it this way, if you want to push-pull legs, 4 of those days, 4 of the 6 days you're doing upper body and hitting your traps in some degree. So it's not necessary to give it its own workout. It really isn't at all, right? Number two, when we're doing this, shrugs do a few things. Your traps do this, elevation, and they do retraction, and they do some depression, a little bit, like some. Your mid-trap. They're not meant to do this, right? The shoulder joint is like a circle of motions. Basically, that joint can go anywhere. It's like your hip and your shoulders can do multi-dimensional, multi-moving. Basically, it can go this way, this way. It's like a ball bearing in a sense, right? The traps just do this way, and they can shrug this way. We don't want to do this. All we're doing is grinding away at our shoulders. Let's do the nice grind, the shoulder grind. That's it, just like take my shoulder out of whack. Just, what am I doing this? This is stuff that we're doing. This are shrugs I used to do when I was like 11, 12, like back in the 90s. Just this stupid shit. Makes no sense. So here's how you should do shrugs if you're gonna do shrugs. Number one, if you're gonna do dumbbells, best way to do any kind of shrug is to have your arms at the side, where they naturally are. So if we're doing a shrug, we're here and we're pulling here, right? We don't wanna be this way then and we're like, shrugs. It's not good. So yeah, doing them from this side is a lot more optimal from here. And then you can slightly go to the front as well too. It's multi-dimensional. You can move from here and from here. The best way to do it literally is if you have like a hex bar where it already is placed that position, having your arms a little further away and just doing shrugs like this and down is a lot more optimal than doing shrugs like this. Now, to be honest, all of it, don't do shrugs. Just take it out. If you do anything like learn to do some cleans, learn to do some like snatches, something like that are more like functional. Doing this isn't functional at all. Don't do this. It's not good. Just don't do it. Just take that thing out. Anyway, guys, that is it, man. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, guys. Just thought I'd bring a little light to this exercise. A lot of people watch this channel. It's a very good workout. It makes sense, but again, we're losing a lot of detail. So for you guys, if you're gonna follow this, I would say do the 4 sets. I would say do the 4 sets. Make sure each of those sets, 2 of those are hard sets, and then make the compound movements have like a 3-second negative, and all the accessories, just make sure we're controlling those weights, controlling our core, and make sure when we're standing, we're in a position where they're athletic and able to move functionally. Anyway, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video, guys. If you did, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and share. No McConnell Lateral, it is transparent, all the truth. For coaching, johnnyshrugs.com, guys. If you want to know more about coaching, book yourself a phone consult, 15 to 30 minutes. At the end of the consult, I deduct it off any package that you pick. Also, guys, hit those discount codes and promo codes in the description below to help save life or change life for the better. Like Johnny10, 10% off Blue Star Gucci Pseudo, guys. Get there right away. Use that link below. Add me on TikTok and Instagram. Send me progress pics, the training pics, and your video clips, and I'll repost it for you because you know how it is. Iron sharp as iron. Progressive overload your life. In the meantime, keep dream chasing. Peace.